to another edition of Lab Rats. He's Sean Carruthers.
He's Andy Walker.
And today on the show, something fun.
Another one of our good old TLAs.
Three-letter acronyms. Can't even pronounce it.
Yes.
FTP.
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 File Transfer Protocol,
Very
in
good.
fact.
You may have heard about this technology. It's been around since the beginning of time.
Or you may not have heard about it, which is why someone may be pointing you to this episode.
That's right. Hello, Biff.
Thank you for jumping up from that direction this time. Carrie Holtzman is probably very appreciative of that.
That's right. No rude bum shots of your back end. Anyway, FTP. So FTP is a technology used to move files around the internet. And we're going to tell you all about it on today's episode. First, of course, we have to pay the bills. So let's take a break and look at a message from our sponsor. When we come back, we can demystify it. It's so exciting.
I think our sponsor actually FTP'd this up to us.
They did. They're very good at FTPing. All right. Back after this.
If a doggy was the new Camtasia Studio 5, it would be the cutest. It would be obedient, and it wouldn't steal Aunt Betsy's purse. The new Camtasia Studio 5. Screencasting software that's better than a doggy. Download it at www.techsmith.com.
So FTP.
File Transfer Protocol.
File Transfer Protocol. What is it? Let's talk about what it's used for first, and then we maybe show how it works, and then we'll show some programs.
Well, you know, it's all in the name. File Transfer Protocol, it's for transferring files, essentially.
Right.
So it's a way to get your document, whether it's a big text document or PowerPoint or a big image or some sort of production document that is like a newsletter or whatever, from point A to point B.
Yeah, and actually, interesting you bring that up because normally you'll have a big production document from, for example, Quark Express. You're doing desktop programming, you're doing video production, right? You want to move a large file from my computer to your computer,
right?
Somehow,
right?
So how do we do that?
Well, you'd think that you could email it, potentially.
Well, you could potentially attach it as an email attachment, but...
That works with smaller documents. So if it's a text document like Microsoft Word document, that's pretty good. But for example, when we do Lab Rats, we use FTP to get, I make a draft version of it, send it to you for feedback and comments and all of that, and then it'll go up to our server afterwards. So each of these steps uses File Transfer Protocol. And when we're talking about files that are 100 megabytes, 200 megabytes, whatever, then just attaching that as a email attachment isn't feasible because the email servers will choke on that either way.
Either coming out from you, or if you're emailing it to me and my ISP, my internet service provider says, I'm sorry, but this file is too big, it's going to reject it, right? If it's 100 megabytes and I got a 100 megabyte inbox, it's not going to work, right?
Right, and I mean, theoretically, you could break larger files up into smaller chunks using utilities and send all of those separately, but then you're going to miss a piece potentially in the mail, and it's just a huge pain in the butt, and you're sitting there waiting for it to upload for like 16,000 hours. So better to transfer the file using FTP all in one shot.
Now, FTP's been around for a long, long time, right? It's, I mean, even before the web came along, the FTP was available, right? It's been around since the beginning.
Yeah, way back in the early days when you were on the net, if you wanted to get a file from somewhere, like right now you just go to a website and click download, but in the early days you would actually go to the FTP site for this company and download the file directly from that site. Right.
It's important to remember, actually, it's actually a protocol, just like, so you may know that when you go to a website, you type HTTP:// right? It's a protocol. It's saying
hypertext transfer.
Hypertext
transfer protocol.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a way for the computer to talk to another computer to transfer information, right? And FTP is a file transfer protocol, meaning there's a way to move file from one computer to another. So you would actually, if you want to go to a website using your web browser, you would actually type FTP:// in the address of the site to go to the server to look at the file directories to retrieve or to drop files in there. But let's do a real quick demo here. We have a bunch of cans here on the table.
Okay.
So I need a can of chunky soup from you.
Here you go.
No, that's not going to work.
Okay, so I'm in one location, you're in another location.
Right.
So if you are the server, I would basically upload this to your server over here.
Yes.
But most people don't have a server at home. Right. So what they'll use is they'll actually use a third party. And we're going to have that right here.
Oh, third party.
Here's our third party server right here.
And
so what I'll do is you say to me, I want that that LabRats draft.
Hey, Sean, would you upload the LabRats draft to our server, please?
No problem.
Can you do it quietly, please?
There we go.
Thank you.
So what I'll do is I'll actually use an FTP client, which we'll show in a little bit, and send it to this server, which is my server out in space.
Right.
Then it'll be sitting there for you to download.
Right. And then I go, and he'll send me an email and go, hey, it's ready to go. In fact, that's what he does
Andy,
every Thursday.
It's ready to go.
Thanks, Sean. I'm too busy to look at your thing.
Do it now. I need to do this. I need a weekend too, you know.
Oh, okay, you jerk. That's sort of how it goes. So then I log on to the server, and I go, all right, here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was a pretty good episode. And I'll fire him off an email with all of my comments. And then, but I don't actually put it back because he's got a copy of it, and he's going to revise it and that sort of thing. But you could theoretically, right, actually, he could send it up. I could take it out. I could open it. I could edit it if I wanted to. I can make changes, put it back. And it would just be a way of handing files back and forth between people.
Yeah, so what we'll do in the end is I'll make the modifications that are requested to this file. Hope you remember what soup this is later when you're hungry. Anyways, I'll make those changes, and then I'll put it into this other server, which is over here, which is actually where you download it from now.
That's right.
So
exactly.
I will FTP it back up to a new location.
To a new location, right. So it's just a way of transferring it from one place to another. Think of it as a truck that moves stuff around. Okay. All right, good. So now we've shown the mechanics of it. We've shown the purpose.
Oh, the one thing that's worth noting here is with attachments, you can attach multiple files, but you can also do the same thing with FTP. I can say, send all of these files.
Now I know what it was like to work with me on a call for help.
Man, you got some dented cans in here. You better put these in the discount section.
Thank you. All right, let's look at the programs you're going to use to actually get to the server and pull files down. Okay. So, are you done?
Maybe.
Okay, good. So I like to use a program. It's a freebie called Core FTP.
Core
Right?
FTP?
Core FTP from coreftp.com, I think it is. So let's open that up here. So as you can see, there is it sort of looks like a Windows Explorer, where you on the left-hand side is all the folders and files on my computer, and on the right-hand side is the destination. It's actually this server over here we're going to send the files to. So what I'm going to do is go up here and click on the site manager, meaning the definition of the sites that I actually interact with every day. I'm going to connect to, let's see, well, here we go. Our sponsored TechSmith, right? We occasionally will swap files with those guys. So I'm going to select that. You'll see the site name. You're going to see a host IP or a URL. So you're going to define the destination file, the destination server, by either a real English language type of thing. In this particular case, it's supportftp.techsmith.com. But it could be an IP address, right? 128.something.something.something.
Could be. So like if you had, for example, set up an FTP server on one of your computers here and then connected that directly to the internet, I could send it directly to you by your IP address.
That's exactly it, yeah. And you could theoretically do that, right? You could actually set up your own FTP server if you had the know-how.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that today because it's a little bit more advanced.
Right. To get into an FTP server, you're going to want to, you need a username and a password, right? So the person that actually runs the server will actually define access to the server, giving you a username, just like you would have for any account.
So I'll say, this server, an account on this, Andy, password, Andy's Wiener, and permissions, he has access to these particular directories.
Right. As you can see, he said permissions there, right? So he actually defines what part of the server I can access when I log on to it. So, and there's going to be a port, traditional port sending out is port 21 FTP. You don't have to worry about that. That's usually set as the default. And there's a whole bunch of other configurations you can mess around with. But now, if you don't provide me with a user ID and password to get onto the service, specifically for me, there is such things called anonymous FTP servers, right? So there are public FTP servers out there that allow you to interact with and log on and either leave files behind or pull files off of it.
And a lot of FTP services or servers by default will have anonymous capabilities as well, and which will limit what you can see on it.
Right.
But they will allow you to go and search things and dump things into an incoming box as well.
That's right, exactly. So if you come across one of those, to log on to an anonymous FTP server, you type in the user ID, anonymous, that word, and then the password, you can kind of use anything you want. By tradition, you use your email address. today, in the world of spam and that kind of thing, I wouldn't recommend it. Just put some, Sean at, dingdong.com or something like that. It doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah, I just type a string of gibberish, then an @ symbol, then another string of gibberish, then .com.
There you go. And that'll get you on, again, with limited privileges. All right, so I'm just going to connect here. I'm going to connect to the TechSmith server. And what you're going to see on the right-hand side is going to be all of the folders available they've set up for their day-to-day use. And I think they had one here for, it was the guy I was dealing with and had a folder in for me. So I can just dive into each folder